PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds 2, or PUBG 2, is an upcoming online multiplayer battle royale video game that is being developed and published by the PUBG Corporation. Rumors have circulated throughout 2020 and 2021 that the company has been secretly developing a sequel to the game, along with a mobile sequel under the codename Project Extreme, and that both will be launching sometime in 2021. So let's break down the first mention, rumors, leaks, and more. As always, all the sources will be linked in the description below, so make sure to check those out and support those original articles and writers. Also, make sure to follow me on Twitter at Fonkt2. And with that out of the way, let's get into everything we know about PUBG 2. Let's start with Project Extreme, which is directly related to the mobile sequel and not the PC or console version. The first real mention I saw was in the form of a Reddit post in February of 2020 from the PUBG YouTuber PlayerIGN, but he posted saying that PUBG Korea added 15 new job listings for a new project they are calling Extreme, which is actually just the letters, it's not spelled out, so it's XTRM. He used Google Translate and was able to get a lot of the information from the jobs. So some of the key jobs are for a data engineer, a senior software engineer, a software engineer, and a UI designer. And some of the keywords in the job listings asked for a character modeler, animator, Unreal Engine 4 programmer, and Unreal Engine 4 content programmer. He went on and said that this project is being hired separately from other projects that are being worked on in the PUBG universe, and a Korean community manager commented about Extreme on the Reddit equivalent in Korea. Once again, this post was translated, and the post said, quote, "Extreme is a new project that is being developed internally. There are no further disclosures yet, including who the director is. Regarding whether Extreme will appear as a new content or as a separate game within PUBG, the moderator said, quote, nothing has been decided yet on whether or not it will be used." And just for some clarification, when we talk about this game being separate from other games in the PUBG universe, Glenn Schofield is mentioned because he is making a narrative action game in the PUBG universe, and that game will be separate from this game. So Extreme is something completely different than this narrative game also in the PUBG universe. They're being developed by different teams and have different goals in mind. And after this post, the community was split at the time, and discussion was only partially focused on a sequel to PUBG. There were some individuals in the community who thought this could be a sequel, but other speculation pointed to the fact this game might just be a rebuild of the original game due to a lot of compounding errors and glitches and problems with the game's code that have become too big of an issue to fix seemingly by themselves. So a lot of the speculation was, is this going to be a complete rework of PUBG, or potentially are they going to capitalize off this rework and make it a sequel so they can sell the game and then get even more press that way when the game is all fixed? And fans were left with this as the only news about the title until November of 2020, when an article was released that included a lot of new information not only about this Project Extreme, but also PUBG 2. They state that one of the titles is multi-platform and will come to PC and consoles. Now, this article gives information for the sequel to PUBG Mobile, which we now know as Project Extreme, along with a PC and console version of PUBG 2. So it seems like both games will be PUBG 2, but created by different teams and will be slightly different. So let's start with the mobile game. The article gives a release date when they estimate the game is set to be released, and they say at the earliest the game will be released in the second quarter of next year, and this article was published in 2020, so they mean the second quarter of 2021. It's also important to note that from this article, it also sounds like the game is not being outsourced, it's being made in-house, and it's being made by the PUBG team instead of involving any other studios. The article continues on and says the team has been working on this mobile title since the first half of 2019, and that is actually where the Project Extreme codename comes from. And this basically confirmed that all those Project Extreme rumors and job listings we saw weren't actually for PUBG 2, but the mobile version of PUBG. It's also speculated that the team that was working on PUBG Lite, which was a version of PUBG that, as the name sounds, was a scaled back version of the game to play on even more PCs and laptops, and was going to get a lot more players involved, but development was halted and we haven't heard about it for quite a while. And it's assumed now that this development team was shifted to work on PUBG 2.0 for mobile, because the head of PUBG Mobile is now the former head of PUBG Lite. So there's a lot of connections there, and if you were following PUBG Lite, it seems like development shifted at some point, and now it's working on this PUBG 2.0 for mobile. And I know recently PUBG Lite did give an update where it just talked about currency in game, so the game potentially isn't dead completely, but the fact there hasn't been an actual update since April, and that this producer has moved on to Project Extreme, it seems likely that these two are connected and they're moving on to another project instead of focusing on Lite. This is the next step for the studio. And then the article continues on and discusses the main version of the game that will be coming to PC and consoles. They say that another team is working on this other version, and the team has been working on it since the beginning of 2019. And that the game is already finished. It's kind of a weird translation, and they say it is likely to be named PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds 2. And the only release timeframe we have was actually given in a follow-up article with Bloomberg. They stated that a new Battle Royale mobile title would be released this year, which lines up with the original article we read, and this would most likely be the Project Extreme or PUBG Mobile 2. And they go on to say another PUBG title will be released for PC and consoles by next year, which once again means before 2022. Now, we don't have confirmation that this is PUBG 2, but with the Bloomberg article and the original article, it seems like they go together, and if this PUBG 2 actually is finished, you think they'd want it released sooner rather than later. So we could expect this likely before the end of 2021 as well, but the wording once again is not very clear and some of these translations do get weird. So we could see PUBG Mobile 2 and PUBG for PC and consoles 2 both released before 2022. So what should we expect in the next year? Well, for sure, PUBG Mobile 2 or Project Extreme seems like the game we have the most information about and should definitely be released sometime this year if all these rumors are to be believed and if nothing goes drastically wrong in these next few months or year. A console and PC version of PUBG 2 is less certain, there are less rumors and less credible things to back this up. But once again, if those rumors are to be believed as well, it has been in development for quite a few years, and hopefully will take the franchise to another level. It should also be reworking a lot of the problems people had with the first game, and then should be more of a long-term game for the series. Hopefully they fix a lot of these bugs, and PUBG 2 is what they decide to really focus their development on and push for the next decade or whatever they decide. And once again, it should technically be released in 2021 according to some of these articles. And for the most part, that is everything we know about PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds 2. I know it's not the most exciting video, we still haven't seen gameplay or trailers or any real confirmation, but there are a lot of rumors circulating and it's definitely worth keeping your eye on as this year progresses. As always, make sure to like and share this video, subscribe for weekly gaming news, and I will see you guys in the next one.